Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the session. I hope all of you are doing great. June will be here soon, right? And June means net exam. I know so many of you out there are preparing for this upcoming net exam. And I really wish all of you would do really, really well. So, with that being said, to do well, we know that we have to revise a lot, right? So here we are back with a new revision session for the upcoming June net exam. So welcome, welcome. Yes, correct. Welcome to our NTA Net Revision Session 3. Are you all ready? Yes, very good. Let's move on to the first question for tonight. Here we go. Okay. Statement 1. The first question is from Beckett's Waiting for Godot. It's an absurd drama, Waiting for Godot, subtitled A Tragic Comedy in Two Acts. Statement 1 here says, in Waiting for Godot, Lucky is unable to think or perform his monologue unless he's wearing his hat. Is that true? Let's see. Statement 2. In second act of the play, Pozzo reappears but has become blind. And Lucky has become mute or dumb. He cannot speak anymore. So are these two statements here about Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot true? It's a very, very important play. And I would urge all of you to look up this play in good detail. Okay, in great detail, brother. Let me see what you all are saying. Yes, both the statements here are true. So I just mentioned to you that Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, it's an absurd drama. It belongs to the subgenre of theater of the absurd. You tell me, who wrote the book Theater of the Absurd, published in 1961? Who wrote the book Theater of the Absurd, first published in 1961? First published in 1961. It is by Martin Esslin. Martin Esslin. Now tell me, the concept of the absurd was first propounded by whom? Tell me. Please like the session. Yes. The concept of the absurd was first propounded by Albert Camus in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, first published in 1942. Don't forget this. The concept of the absurd was first propounded by Albert Camus in his essay, The Myth of the Sisyphus, first published in 1942. Okay, right, very good. So got it? Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following Dickens characters is a wealthy recluse who always wears her old wedding dress and she lives in the Satis house? It's a mansion. Who is it? Which Dickens character is a recluse who always wears her old wedding dress and she lives in the mansion called Satis House? Very good. It is Miss Havisham from Great Expectations. Miss Havisham from Great Expectations. Great Expectations was first published in which year? Great Expectations was first published in which year? 1861. 1861. Talking about Satis House, tell me, Thrushcross Grange is an estate in which novel? Thrushcross Grange. It's an estate in which novel? Tell me. Thrushcross Grange. It's an estate in Wuthering Heights, the only novel by Emily Bronte, published in 1847 under the pseudonym Elise Bell. Now tell me, Thornfield Hall, Gateshead Hall, Lowood School, all these are places in which novel? Thornfield Hall, Gateshead Hall, Lowood School, The Rivers Family. They are in which novel? Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, published in 1847 under the pseudonym Currer Bell. And please remember the full title of Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre, an autobiography. It's a popular Bildungsroman of 19th century. Now tell me, we were talking about various estates and mansions. Tell me, we know that Lowood School is in Jane Eyre. Right. Tell me, which boarding school is there in Nicholas Nickleby by Dickens? Which boarding school is there in Nicholas Nickleby by Dickens? Which boarding school is there? Dotheboys Hall. Dotheboys Hall. It's a boarding school in Dickens's Nicholas Nickleby. Salem House. Salem House. It's a boarding school in which novel? Salem House. Satis House nahi. Satis House is in Great Expectations. Salem House, it's a boarding school in Dickens's favorite novel, David Copperfield, published in 1850. It's in David Copperfield, 1850. Okay, chalo, let's move on to the next question. Arrange the following characters in their chronological sequence of appearance. In which order have these characters emerged in literature? Crusoe, Desdemona, Winston Smith, Heathcliff. Crusoe is the protagonist in the work Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Desdemona is the heroine from Othello. Winston Smith is from Orwell's 1984, right? And Heathcliff is one of the protagonists from Wuthering Heights. Now you arrange them. Arrange them. First, what will come? Desdemona, yes. So B, A, D, C. Desdemona, Robinson Crusoe, Heathcliff, Winston Smith. Okay? Yes, option C is correct. Option C is correct. Very good. Next. Here I have given you some essays and their essays. Match karo. Essays and their essays. Dream Children a Reverie. It's an essay by the late romantic essayist Charles Lamb. So A2. Politics and the English Language. It's an essay by Orwell. So A2, B1. So C4. The Indian Jugglers is an essay by Hazlitt. And on running after one's hat, it's an essay by G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton. Got it? Dream Children, Lamb. Politics and the English Language, Orwell. The Indian Jugglers, Hazlitt. On running after one's hat, G.K. Chesterton. Okay? Right. Next, you have to arrange the following plays in the correct chronological sequence. Arrange the plays in the correct chronological sequence. The Caretaker by Pinter, Arms and the Man by J.B. Shaw, Riders to the Sea by James Synge, and The Entertainer by John Osborne. First, what will come? Say, you know this, it's easy. First, we will have Arms and the Man by G.B. Shaw. Then Riders to the Sea by James Synge. Then The Entertainer by John Osborne. And lastly, we will have The Caretaker by Pinter. The Caretaker by Pinter. You tell me, the plays of Harold Pinter are known as dash. The plays of Harold Pinter are known as dash. The plays of Pinter are known as what? The plays of Harold Pinter are known as what? They're known as comedies of menace. Comedies of menace. Yes, comedies of menace. Correct. Next. Who among the following edited the periodical Household Words? Who among the following edited the periodical Household Words? Household Words and All the Year Round. Household Words and All the Year Round. These are periodicals of Charles Dickens. These are periodicals of Charles Dickens. Okay, right. So we have already started our admissions for our December net course. The early bird offer is going on right now. If you purchase the course abhi, you will get our course at a discounted price of 24,000. And you will also get our crash course for free. Okay. Chalo. Are you all enjoying answering these questions? Tell me. Yes. Then do like the session, please. Okay. Next. In which of the following poems does John Donne use the conceit of a tiny insect as a marriage temple and a cloister to represent the union of two lovers? In which of the following poems does John Donne use the conceit of a tiny insect as a marriage temple and a cloister to represent the union of two lovers? Very good. It is The Flea. The Flea by John Donne. The Flea by John Donne. Correct. Correct hai. Was John Donne a contemporary of Shakespeare? Was John Donne a contemporary of Shakespeare? Yes. He influenced which group of poets? He influenced which group of poets? John Donne influenced the group of metaphysical poets. The group of metaphysical poets of the 17th century. The group of metaphysical poets of the 17th century. Okay, right. Okay, here you have characters and you have to match these characters with the novels they belong to. You have to match the characters with the novels they belong to. Ready? Elizabeth Bennet is a character from which novel? Elizabeth Bennet is a character from which novel? Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet is from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Heathcliff is a character from which novel? Heathcliff is a character from Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff is a character from Wuthering Heights. Becky Sharp is a character from Becky Sharp is a character from Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Tell me, this title, Vanity Fair, has been borrowed from which work? This title, Vanity Fair, has been borrowed from which work? The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. It's a religious allegory published in 1678. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. It's a religious allegory published in 1678. Yes, Gabriel Oak is from Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd. Gabriel Oak is a character from Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd. Do you guys know that Far from the Madding Crowd is that novel where Wessex was introduced for the first time by Hardy? Far from the Madding Crowd is that novel where Wessex was introduced for the first time by Hardy. And this novel, Far from the Madding Crowd, was serialized in Cornhill magazine. Cornhill magazine. And William Makepeace Thackeray was one of the founding editors of Cornhill magazine. William Makepeace Thackeray was one of the founding editors of Cornhill magazine. Right? Yes. And Pip is a character from which novel? Pip is the protagonist of which novel? Pip or Philip Pirrip is a character from Great Expectations. Great Expectations. Okay. Tell me which novel of Dickens has a tripartite structure published in 1854? Which novel of Dickens has a tripartite structure published in 1854? Hard Times or For These Times. Hard Times or For These Times by Dickens, published in 1854. It has a tripartite structure. It has three sections: sowing, ripping, garnering. Sowing, ripping, garnering. And it's the only novel of Dickens not set in London. It is set in the industrial coke town. It is set in the industrial coke town. And this novel is famous for critiquing the contemporary movement of utilitarianism. This novel is famous for critiquing the contemporary movement of utilitarianism. And that's why this novel was dedicated to Thomas Carlyle, who was also a critique of this movement. Who was also a critique of this movement, Carlyle. Carlyle. Okay. Did you all follow? Yes, I hope so. And yes, our admissions to December net course is going on. You can join us. Okay. Right. So that's all for tonight from our side. I hope you guys enjoyed answering these questions. And we will see you all again tomorrow at 9:30. Tomorrow also we will revise British literature. Tomorrow also we will revise British literature. Because remember, in the last net exam which happened, 27 questions came from British literature alone. 27 questions came from British literature alone. So make sure you make your British literature area very strong. Okay? Okay? Right. And let me know in the comment section if you guys want an exclusive session on reading comprehension. If I get enough comments saying yes in the comments, offline comments, then we will plan an exclusive session. We will plan an exclusive session on reading comprehension. Because in paper 2, 10 solid marks can be achieved just from reading comprehension area. 10 solid marks can be achieved from reading comprehension. So if you guys want an exclusive session on RCs, let me know in the comments and we will do it. Okay. Chalo. Then bye. Take care. Good night. Okay, right. Okay, you want session on RC? We will do it. Okay.